okay, am I good at this? Am I horrible at this? Like, it was just a litmus test of when you start something, in your, I'm going to say your second, third period of your life, and you pick up a new hobby or a skill, you're like, am I any good at this? So
welcome to Let's Talk, ladies, conversations across generations. I'm MB Roberts, an author and journalist, and this is a podcast where we talk to women from their 20s to their 90s about a bunch of hot topics. We ask questions, share experiences, and learn from each other. And it's not just about older women giving advice. We want to know what younger women are thinking too. Today, I'm joined by co-host Katie Neal. So let's get talking. There's a lot of wise words out there about loving what you do for work. You've heard this one, right? Of love what you do and you'll never work a day in your life. You hear that all the time. But not everybody gets a chance to do their dream job. There are only so many spaces to be Taylor Swift. There's only so many spots available. But some people don't even attempt it for whatever reason. Doesn't make enough money. They're scared, whatever. What do you think, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. There's so many things. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to be a Broadway star.
Mm-hmm.
Then I wanted to be a magazine editor, and I did get to do that.
Look at that.
So I remember writing to a magazine editor. My first job, I wrote to the editor-in-chief of a magazine I loved, and she wrote back a really nice note. And so that's really cool. Yeah, I mean,
that might have set you on your way.
Oh yeah, it was really great.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. I didn't have like kind of that I wanted to be like a famous person or I didn't really have that or a performer. I wanted to be a social worker when I was a little kid, which is I don't know if that's a dream job.
You're so good at that, but man, that's a hard job. Like,
I know.
I don't know if that's anyone's dream job. I mean,
exactly.
if you're really called to that, but oh my gosh, that's hard work.
Yeah, but I definitely a dream job was being an author, and I did become that. And I think a magazine editor, a magazine editor or writer as well. So we did get a chance to do that. But I
being books editor was kind of a dream job for you.
Yeah, I was books editor of Parade magazine, which was really cool. I didn't even dream of that. I didn't even know that really that was a thing. So that was amazing. But I don't know, maybe it's because I'm kind of more aware of it or I'm at this age, but it seems like women are getting a chance to do the work they love later in life, or maybe that's just my circle or
no, I think that's true.
Paying attention to it. Reinvention seems to be a big theme these days. I know it's also because a lot of women that I know are getting laid off in their 50s and 60s. And taking that as an opportunity to do totally different kind of work. I might be talking about myself.
Yeah.
This happened to me or friends that I know, they become an empty nester and maybe they can afford to take a risk or just do something that makes a little bit less money. It's
a lot of times when the kids go off to college, they kind of look around and go, oh, what now? And that's an opportunity to do something different.
It truly is, especially if you have that available to you financially. But
I think you're right. I do think that it's something that has changed. I think there's a little more access to things, as we'll talk about with our guests today. But you know, with the internet, there's more, I think, opportunity or self-publishing. People who've always wanted to write a book, you can self-publish now. You can self-publish a record, an album. I think there's a little bit more access, to those kinds of things.
Yeah, you can create a podcast, or that's much easier technically, or sell things. You can find an audience on
Etsy
the internet
or something. Yeah, eBay. Yeah.
Well, but there's a lot of firsts with women in their 40s and 50s and 70s that you and I have talked about. Like you brought up to me Leslie Jones.
Yes.
Do you know that she got onto Saturday Night Live, the comedian Leslie Jones, when she was 47?
That's how old I am.
Oh Holy
right
cow!
now.
There's
That's
time.
amazing. No, I remember when she was hired, and I mean, first of all, she looks younger. She
Yes,
just
she
has
does.
a younger face. But I remember reading that and thinking, how cool, because you think of Saturday Night Live as something for very young comedians
Oh,
starting out,
mid
and then they kind of
20s.
go
Yeah,
on. Yeah. So
exactly.
amazing for her, and she had an amazing run on that show.
Yeah, it's so cool. Dream guest for us too. But
Yes.
just a personal favorite of mine is Delia Owens, the author, published "Where the Crawdads Sing" at age
Yes.
70. I thought that, and a huge bestseller. Thank you, her first novel.
I still see people reading that like out in the wild.
Yeah, it's one of my faves. But Julia Child got her TV show when she was 51.
So my mom famously, we've had a couple episodes on cooking and how we're not really great cooks. My
Yeah.
mom, until I turned 40, was like, Julia Child didn't learn how to cook till she was 40.
There
She'd
you
be
go.
like,
There you
well,
go.
now the time is really past, Mom. No.
Well, you better
But it's true.
hustle. You got a couple years to get that TV show, that cooking show. But there's so many more. Like our friend Amy Reed, who does our graphics and our audio editing. She's always been in bands, but she really, pumped up that as a serious commitment in her 40s and started to
Yeah.
play out more. That was really cool to see.
And writing songs more and
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And our friend Christina Daves started a podcast, Living Ageless and Bold, and it's about women reinventing themselves in their 50s, and she did it
Yes.
in her 50s. That was pretty cool. But
Yes. It's a great podcast.
yeah, and well, we see all kinds of older female athletes, especially just people doing things they haven't done, maybe running a marathon or taking up a sport. Gosh, you see, I started windsurfing when I was 40, so
Oh, that's
that's not
awesome.
that
And
old,
our
is it?
former boss, Lisa Delaney at Parade, I remember when I interviewed with her, she had just turned 50 and she said, I'm going to start rowing. She
Yeah.
said she just, was looking for something different to do. And she's now huge into that, has competed all over the country.
Yep, yep. I mean, gosh, we see so many of that. There's, in like running competitions and big runs on the weekend, you see, oh yeah, now there's a category for 50 and up and 60 and up and above. The
Awesome.
a woman, 93-year-old woman, Mathea Allen Smith, ran the Honolulu Marathon this year.
That's incredible.
I mean, she finished. It's
Incredible.
so today we're going to talk to a woman who recently accomplished a lifelong dream in her 60s, to write a song and get it published
Love it.
and made and out in the world. And she wrote what's cool to us is she wrote the song with two women, that one in their 20s, one in her 30s. And
Wow.
you and I were talking about, there had to be some challenges with language, or I mean, here you are, right, using your words or cultural references. Don't you think? I thought I'm thinking they might have had some of these challenges.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because when you're sitting down to write or work on a project together, as we have many times, just coming up with ideas and references, a lot of times there's a disconnect.
Right. Or I'm putting words in their mouth. I'm imagining Kathy, our interviewee, who is 61, tends to call more than text. I'm wondering how that goes. But you say stuff to me all the time, like you say words all the time that I don't know what you're talking. What did you say the other day? You said something, crashing out, and I'm like, oh, crashing out, like taking a nap.
I said I'm crashing out, meaning I'm very stressed. I'm like panicking. I'm
Okay.
spiraling. Yeah. That's what I learned that from my Gen Z friends, crashing out.
Right. And gosh, what's mentee B? You said that the other day, and I
That may not be. It's short for mental breakdown. Having a mentee B.
I thought it had something to do with bad breath. I really did. But well, this goes on in our lives all the time. That's why I call Katie my reverse mentor. But
Yeah.
so let's get to our next guest. She not only co-wrote a song called "I Need a New Fix," but one of her songwriting partners recorded it, and it's making a splash. got 15,000 downloads on Spotify and counting, and was recently nominated for a Josie Award, the Independent Music Awards. It's nominated for Country Song of the Year. So that's a
Amazing.
big splash for your first
Yes.
collaboration. So the song is "I Need a New Fix," and it's written by Kathy Devine, Sam Ferrara, and Sarah Hardwig. We'll talk to all of them. But here first is songwriter Kathy Devine and co-writer and artist Sam Ferrara. Well, hey, Kathy.
Hey.
And hey, Sam.
Hi.
Thank you guys for being here. This is so much fun. This is going to be really great to hear your story. Let's just jump right in.
Okay.
Can you guys tell me, Kathy, how did you find Sam? How did you guys connect?
Sure. So basically, Sam, Sarah, and I were all co-writers, and we'll get in more about that. But we took a workshop through NSAI, which is Nashville Songwriting Association, and it was hosted by Liz Rose. Liz Rose is infamous for helping, this small little artist, Taylor Swift, kick off her career. So we were all bettering ourselves as writers, and we got thrown into an assignment, and they paired us off in 2s and 3s and said, go write a song over the weekend and bring it back in on Monday. Wow. And Sarah, Sam, and I got paired together.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any Sam, do you have any idea how, like, what the thinking was? Was that random, or were they thinking, I have a reason for this?
I think they just kind of were, they maybe thought, I can't think of what Leo was thinking when all that was happening. Because I think it was just more of we think these are like all good matchings and pairings. And the rest is history from there.
Did you just immediately have good chemistry as writers?
I think we did. Oh, yeah. I think we did. And I want to say I'm a lyricist only. So Sam and Sarah are artists in their own right, crazy, super talented. I can sing for the purposes of a writer's round, and I can hear a melody, but I can't play any instruments. So I think when they assigned us in the groups, if you're a lyricist, you have to be partnered up with people, right, that can play instruments. So I think I was weighing them down, but they allowed me to participate.
Absolutely not. You were the one that brought this idea. Perfect.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the song we're talking about that, Kathy had wanted to write songs for years. Yeah. And we're going to hear more about that. But this first song you guys worked on together, it's called I Need a New Fix.
Yes.
And it is so exciting. It's had so far 15,000 streams on Spotify, and recently nominated for Song of the Year with the Josie Awards, which is a independent artists only awards. It got so exciting that's I believe that's going to be at the Grand Ole Opry in November.
Yep,
that show. Yeah, that show.
Wow.
So just where'd the idea for the song come from?
So I when you're a songwriter, right, you usually keep a list in your phone. Some of my ideas are titles. Some of them could be a lyric. Some of them could be a chorus. You don't really know what it is, but there was something about, I was trying to think of a unique way instead of just another breakup song, right? It was sort of like a funky way to talk about, therapy or a healthy breakup. And I just like the word fix. Mm-hmm. And I played around with that. They, my co-writers liked it, and we were under the shot clock, right, to get it done. And we just started brainstorming from there. So everybody liked it. We call that the big idea. Mm-hmm. And once you kind of hook into that, then you start playing around with the lyrics. Sarah is a savant in terms of like music and guitar. Sam was really able to help out with the structure. I'm going to let you jump in too.
Yeah. And for the most part, at the time when we wrote this, I was also more of the lyricist until I was at the time also writing a record and creating a record, my first record. And, now it's more the melody, but Sarah was like the melody queen on this one. She like had a riff and we just went with it. But when we actually ended up finishing this song, it ended up being, at first we were like, like a healthy way to get over a breakup. But overall, it's just like kind of getting through like the challenges of life, the ups and downs of life, because it's all different things that really give us a difficult time, and we're just looking for a way to make sure we feel better, like after we're having a bad day at work or
Yeah, I need
bad
something new.
relationship. Like you need something new to kick you into shape.
That's right.
Which
That's right.
also this song, and I can share this here, I'm in the process of finishing an EP. Like we are in the final stages for masters and stuff and mixes.
Wow.
And this song is the lead single to the first half of what this big project will be, and is honestly the overall arching theme to this entire project. Bringing everybody in this community together, like, and being like, oh, you have this issue, so do I. Let's kind of like compare, and we're all in this same boat together. And it's cool because it starts with this and then it leads into all those different, we live in this big world with all these small town problems.
Well, it's a universal thing, which is cool because you guys are from different generations. Bring it back to our podcast.
Yes.
But there's so many things that are just universal, and
That's
a breakup or getting through a hard time is one of them.
Right, you can have that in common, even though you're not the same age. Well, just will you guys tell me a little bit about your co-songwriter Sarah, who we're going to talk to in a minute?
Yeah, so I think to also talk about the multi-generational aspect, the interesting thing about this song is that we wrote it during COVID. So we were all on Zoom.
Oh, wow.
And it's been a hot second. So I was still in my 50s when we wrote it. Sarah was a senior in high school. I kid you not. So
oh my gosh.
Sarah's been singing the national anthem and working on her music since she's been a little girl. She's just amazingly talented. And Sam has actually written some other songs with her, so I'll let her, add on as well. But I think that we wrote it a while back, and then Sam wanted to make this the lead song on her new album, and she was kind enough to invite me. It's like maybe the second or third song I've ever written, and then I got to go with her with professional musicians in a studio in Nashville.
Yeah, we got to record it over at Sound Emporium, this song, which was a super cool experience. And I said, come to the studio and come watch us put it together. And
fun.
It was such a great day.
How satisfying. Some songwriters don't
I know. I wanted to press the button and be like, I wrote this. Like, I can't believe you all are like real musicians doing this. It was an amazing experience. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Sarah couldn't make it to that.
Yeah.
But you have, I've gone out and supported Sam and Sarah at Writers Rounds. They're out hustling, performing, all the things. But if you want to talk a little bit more about, I will brag on Sam a little bit.
Yeah.
She can play any brass instrument under the sun. She is a, can I swear on here? She's a kick-ass saxophone player.
Yes.
Oh.
And she used to teach music, and now obviously is pursuing it. But I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about Sarah's musical talents, because you guys have written together a little bit more than I have with her.
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, let me just say, and I get to play with Sarah constantly. We get to write together. We actually wrote a song a couple weeks ago. Like, Sarah is one of those gems that, like, she is seen, and she is just absolutely brilliant at what she does. We knew this from the day we started writing with her, and she just knows her way around a guitar. She knows her way around a song. She just knows how to share and storytell, and it is so inspiring. She's now graduated from Belmont this year. And I'm sure she'll tell you that too, but she's so brilliant in what she does, and I could not speak more highly of her. Like, I have such a respect to writing with her, and it's just a fun time in the room. We write some really good stuff, and she's got a couple other cuts that are going to come out with this big project too, for me. And I'm just grateful that we get to sit in a room and write together. And I'm grateful for Kathy too. Like, this pairing was like, it was a blessing in disguise, and it just was a really cool experience to get to write with them. And we've written a couple other songs too, which has been super fun.
But this was the first one. This was that first one you had to go right over a weekend.
First.
Oh wow!
Correct.
Yes.
We were definitely on.
So just struck gold
a
right
shot
away.
Clock. I know. And Sam posted it, so we saw some nice trends. And then when she said it's gotten more, impressions and streams than some of her other songs that she's already released, I was like, my measure of posting anything is like, okay, am I good at this? Am I horrible at this. Like, it was just a litmus test of when you start something, in your, I'm going to say your second, third period of your life, and you pick up a new hobby or a skill, you're like, am I any good at this? So it was at least reassurance to me that I didn't suck at it. And for me, I have written a lot of marketing copy. I've worked in marketing and sales. I've worked ad agency side. I've worked for some really large brands. And I felt like the writing was a transferable skill set. I've always been good with words. I've done, website copy, social media copy, traditional old school copy, and somehow it was a transferable skill set. But it's different when you write a novel or you're writing a poem. And writing a song is like writing a poem. It has to rhyme. It has to, you can't just kind of ramble on with an extra sentence. So when we were doing this, I was still refining that. And Sam was really critical to helping give it like some song structure, which I didn't have a lot of background doing. Like, I knew the words I wanted to use, but the cadence of it. And then, there's a bridge and there's a chorus, and you have to kind of, you learn the lingo and the language. But it's good to know that all of that copywriting can be a transferable skill set.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. And I admire you so much. Now, Kathy and I are the exact same age, and we have the exact same situation. We're both 61, and we look like, what, 40-ish?
Oh, bless your heart.
I mean, how brave of you. If I were going to write a song with two, 20 and early 30 somethings who are musicians and who play out, and even if I'd worked at it and I'd kind of were you intimidated by that?
I am sassy like that. I am not. Now, if they would have been like, you need to sing with us in public, or you need to do something, then I would have freaked out. But if it was just contributing with the words, I felt confident in that ability. And they were so welcoming. And I think the other thing that at least Sam and I have in common is the education background. So I have a master's in education. I taught elementary school back in the day. Sam was a middle school.
So I'm certified to teach music education. I was a band director here for Metro Schools.
Oh, wow.
And I also subbed in New York for a little while. Stepped away, but I actually just recently stepped back in just as a substitute teacher and continuing to change lives while I'm writing music and making it happen.
You go.
But I've got that music background, so I could teach anything. Like, major instrumentalist here, woodwind player particularly.
So that's really cool. You guys have that sort of common language, and so you have a common language, but what about the language that is not common? Like Katie and I call Katie my reverse mentor because she's younger than me, and we've worked together off and on for many years. So we were working together at a magazine years ago, and TikTok had just come out.
Yeah.
And I went into her office, shut the door, and I go, what is this? And like, and she usually wouldn't mock me when I ask things like, but really I'd be like, it's just gonna be so much easier if I go and ask Katie, and I won't like look ridiculous. But you still say things that
I like
it's tons
I like
of
the
fun.
slang. I'm still way too online.
It's tons of fun, but she'll say something like mentee bee, and I'm like, what? Like did you guys have any like sort of
language barriers?
Kathy is great at communicating, and I love that, like, we were organizing, getting together today, and she'll pick up the phone, and I do that. It's like, wait, if we do one text, it could totally be misconstrued, and this is going to get solved if we... Now, Sam, did that freak you out if she's calling?
No, because Kathy and I kind of see the same brainwave of like, oh yeah, we need to make these, we have to call each other and talk over the phone. I agree. I'm also in the same like realm of TikTok. Like, I'm doing them, but I'm like, what the hell am I doing right now?
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I'm still a little stumped. I feel like the older I'm getting, the more I'm trying to like detach from social media, but I'm
healthy
in an industry right now where it's really difficult to do that, and when I do, I feel like it's you're missing a whole lifetime here.
Well, and as an independent artist, you really are relying on those social media platforms to help break you, right? Because you don't have the album machine and the PR machine and the publishing house and all of that behind you. So I think what's really interesting is it's almost like Sam and Sarah are entrepreneurs, right? If you somehow, when people are artists, you forget it's not the same thing as someone hanging out a shingle, right? And I'm going to create this product, or you think Shark Tank, right? And I'm going to sell this. But this is very much the same way. You have to be your own accounting department. You have to be your own PR department. You have to produce not only the artistic content that you're singing, but then you have to have all this social media and PR to get your song out there and heard. And I think Sam, Sarah, and I are all hustlers at heart.
See, I think you, Kathy, that you would be great at helping with those ideas.
Well,
and if
Kathy
you guys are open
definitely
to
is,
it,
that's for sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've done what I can to, like to help promote this song. And I will tell you this, shamelessly, I just started a new gig at Tanger Outlets in Nashville. So it's an outlet shopping center, and I'm their marketing director. But we sent out through our internal intranet, and I had to write, something about me and something personal. So I put our song in, and I put a link to the song, and I'm like, they're never going to share this. They shared it with all the employees internally.
Oh my gosh.
And the external press release announcing me, I sent them what went out in the employee intranet, and it had it in there, and it was in the external press release too. And I'm like, what a cool company that they would even help, to promote that.
Yeah,
so
that would be great. That would be that they would embrace that. That's
yeah.
So maybe that was like 500 streams that I contributed. That's what
You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
say.
That's fine with me. That's helpful.
hey, with this
all
podcast,
adds up.
it's like
That's
one
what
thing
we're
a day.
doing.
I'll meet somebody. I said, Katie, we got a new listener. I mean, we got to do more than one, but
We're up to 325 Instagram followers.
Oh, I love that.
and counting
I
by the
can
time
contribute to that.
this
Yes.
episode comes out. Well, did you guys have any cultural references that maybe didn't connect? Like Katie and I still will have that. Or okay, I'm 61. I was walking with a friend who's 40 the other day, and I mentioned Bear Bryant. Do you? Okay, I'm going to put Sam on the spot. That's a famous person. Would you know who that was?
I actually no, I don't.
See, what you're in your 30s. Katie, do you know who Bear Bryant is?
Probably just because of you.
Is
Well,
he
he's
an
a-
actor?
No, he's
No.
he's
Awesome coach.
long deceased, but he was like the most famous college football coach at Alabama. But he died in '83. So I have to sometimes I stop and go, how do you not know that? And I'm like, oh my gosh, because
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, like. But did you guys have any moments like
It's
that
also
that
very
you can
rich.
think of that, or not so much?
I would say maybe the gap between us and Sarah. I would say maybe because there's some
Yeah.
things that Sarah is so into that we're like, huh? Like
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
She's really
and
Gen
it-
Z.
yeah, and it takes a little more for us to do some homework and research, but I think Kathy and I are like close enough that we kind of understand each other. So I don't think there may be like one or two things, but I can't really think of them off the top of my head.
I think Sam is also very emotionally mature for her age, and like
Evidently, Sam.
I've met her parents who are super cool, and both Sarah and Sam's parents are amazingly supportive of their careers and initiative. But yeah, I don't really know. We just sort of embraced technology. We communicated well, but we also did some things socially. We went out for drinks, and we kind of kept in touch with each other. And we just, for whatever reason, we just kind of clicked and bonded around that song. And you don't always get to write or work with people that you like, but in this instance, I think we like each other in addition to being co-writers, and we were all proud of that song and what we did.
Oh my gosh, totally. I
makes
can't
such a
imagine not liking the person. I at least you don't have to be best friends, but like just sort of having a like sensibility, or
Oh, yeah.
or maybe
Just to
somebody's
have some
hogging.
sort of
I was about to
chemistry.
say I'm going to sigh, and I would love someday I would love to discuss that more, but there is a time and place. Unfortunately, sometimes you get into deals with people that like, yeah, it works out, and then later on in the game it really doesn't, and it's just like just differences you can't explain, and sadly like it be like that. Like you wish them well and you wish them the best.
Oh, yeah.
And I have writers that like we don't do things anymore, but there are things I'm cutting, and I'm grateful for the experience I had with them. But like I'm not gonna like share hate, but it's just unfortunate when we have that conversation, because it's just like like yes, we've all been there.
Yeah.
at
You
some
just,
point,
no,
you know?
you just try it on, and then
Yeah.
and then you move on. Well, we are so excited to see what happens at the Josie Awards,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
I Need a New Fix has been nominated Song of the Year in the country category, and this is going to be really exciting. We're going to find this out soon. And we just really want to wish you the best with your new album, EP coming out.
Soon. We're very close to soon. Maybe in the fall, early 2026. We'll see.
Okay.
Is there a grand opening party that I'm being invited to?
I think we'll maybe do a listening party. Maybe we can have you
Yeah.
all be there and you guys get to hear it first.
Let's do it.
We better be. And so Kathy, you guys have plans to keep working together?
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
do. We do for sure. I mean, Sam, like I told you, is one of the hardest working women in America. And then I guess I have a couple of side gigs as well. But yeah, I would welcome another co-write with Sam and Sarah any day of the week.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get we're gonna get right on that. So we're gonna let Kathy and Sam go. And next, I'm gonna talk to their partner, Sarah Hardwig. And she's a Nashville-based singer-songwriter, and with serious chops. So we're going to get Sarah on the phone.
Yay!
Thank you guys for being here.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good weekend.
Okay, we're here with Sarah Hardwig. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk to you. As you know, I just talked to your co-writers of Kathy Devine and Sam Ferrara, your co-writers on the song "I Need a New Fix." And I
Yeah.
know you've done other things together too, but we talked a lot about that. Just what was this experience like working on this song? I know that was the first time you worked with Kathy. What was that like for you?
So this was my first time actually working with both Kathy and Sam. Yeah, we were paired up to write a song as part of a virtual songwriters workshop called Rise that was hosted by the Nashville Songwriters Association International, NSAI. And Liz Rose was pretty much the featured guest throughout it.
We were talking
so
about her with Kathy and Sam. She's got some pretty great credentials.
yes, she does. I mean, her discography can speak for itself. I mean, she's amazing. But yeah, I remember we were paired up and we had 2 sessions to get a song done. And I remember the first session we were just kind of warming up to each other and nothing really came of it. I mean, we had some ideas floating around, and then the second session was when things started to really pop off. And I just remember there were points in that session where I was just jumping up and down with excitement. It was such an incredible feeling
Oh,
to
like
write
you
that
guys
song.
just really clicked because I was going to ask you, I'm fascinated as a non-songwriter,
Yeah.
how it is to write with someone else. Like, do you typically write by yourself or do you do it all different ways?
Well, I'm my own worst critic. So unless I have to write by myself for something, I won't necessarily write by myself, but I'm trying to fix that. But with that being said, I like to write with other people because, they can give you feedback and you have more ideas that you can bounce off of them. And it doesn't feel as awkward than, you know, hearing a random voice in your head screaming at you all the time when you're trying to write by yourself. So that's
See,
why I love co-writing.
but see, you put such a positive spin on it because I
Yeah.
would be, especially if I didn't know the person or the people, I would think I'd be a little self-conscious maybe, or like,
Yeah, I
do you
mean,
ever feel like, especially you're the youngest in the group, like, did you
I
feel
am.
like, you were holding back a little bit at first, or, did you feel intimidated at all by older, partners?
Um, the age really did not intimidate me. Nothing really intimidated me all that much. I mean, I was pretty self-conscious. I am self-conscious when I meet anyone because you have to make a good first impression.
Sure.
And yeah, like I said earlier, the first session was really just us warming up to each other. I'm a pretty slow to warm person. I need to get the person's vibe. So if something doesn't necessarily click during the first time, it's not necessarily goodbye, but it's just, we may not necessarily write again because it doesn't feel right. Does that make sense?
Oh, it totally does. And we were talking about that. I was just talking with Sam about that, about,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't hit it off with somebody, how you might, you know, uh, well, you won't work with them again. And I think that
Right.
absolutely makes sense. It's like, it's not like, a mean thing or anything. It's just like, oh, we're not getting each other. We're not,
We
it's
don't
not,
fit.
yeah. So that's, well, then, so you guys feel like, once you wrote this song that it clicked. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes.
And just, I'm curious if, our whole podcast is about
Mhm.
women of different ages, different generations, kind of
Yeah.
comparing experiences. And was there anything like, kind of a generational divide? Like, I'm Kathy's same age, so I get to pick on her. But,
Okay.
it's like Kathy and I will pick up the phone where maybe someone in their 20s, like yourself, does that, I freak out my niece who's 24 by calling. She thinks something's wrong. Were there
Oh,
things like that, like kind of that you did things differently and it was due to age, or not so much?
no, not really so much. I mean, I was barely 21, I think, when I wrote that song, and we talked about drinking, and I wasn't necessarily offended by that. I mean, I wrote a song about a cowboy who drank himself to death when I was 16. So, and I mean,
It's fiction.
country, mu-
Yeah.
yeah, it's fiction. And I mean, country music is not all about drinking, but it plays a pretty, heavy role. But so I wasn't really offended
It's
by
sure it's
that.
right. Like that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah,
It's like, no, I didn't live every single thing. Well, I got you. You've performed with some really cool people. Steven
yes.
Tyler, you did a YouTube video. You guys met and sang a
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my gosh, I love him. And you've performed with Low Cash and
Mm-hmm.
Charles Kelly from Lady A, and
Yes.
but one thing, Sarah, I'm really impressed by is how many times you've sang the national anthem in public. Is it true? Like, is it 250 times? That's the note I have.
Oh God, it has to be. I've pretty much lost count. I've been performing the national anthem pretty much since 2011. So Lord knows how many anthems I've sang, but I would say it's maybe about 250, maybe a little bit over that. I have no idea, and I don't exactly know when I'm going to get to 300.
Oh my gosh. For some reason I'm most impressed by that. I bet people
Thank you.
bring that up to you. Well, congratulations on graduating from Belmont University
Yes.
recently with a
Yeah.
music degree and doing all your work as a artist and songwriter.
Thank you.
We so appreciate talking to you, and it's just really been a pleasure. So thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Let's Talk, Ladies, Conversations Across Generations. We'd love to hear from you. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple or Spotify and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also send us an email at comments@lets-talkladies.org or leave us a message at 629-888-3542. We'll talk again soon on LTL.